It feels like an uphill battle. It feels like there is no end.
If one day my father passed on, I will continue as a caregiver to help other caregivers. I think it's my mission.
So even the course of going for treatment, we also receive feedback from family members who come up to us and say, you send your son to the hospital, you don't have to do that, just talk to him, and talk him out of it. Maybe you didn't talk to him enough, maybe you were so busy working.
I think one of the things we study in the C2C program are the stages that you go through in your emotional journey as you caregive.
I'm taking care of my 87 years old, severe dementia father. And one very bad experience I'm facing was an NTUC jam. And my father on the wheelchair, we were pushing around to the shopping, and suddenly he passed motion. And it was so much on it, I mean, it's on the floor everywhere. That moment, I was like panicking, The upsetting part is that cleaner literally with a trolley, with all the equipment that he got, but just refused to help.
I can understand how you're feeling because my son is actually diagnosed with schizophrenia. When we bring him out, we have to be ready to explain to people who may not understand his behavior.
It was in the midst of CB, so we couldn't even visit her. So it was really tough. Yeah. We didn't share with our relatives really because I didn't want to hurt my parents. And I don't think my friends will understand. Imagine losing your daughter at 17 years old.
See, Gabriel, sometimes I realize that, especially the Chinese family, they really tend not to share with other people because of the face value. They must always remember that you are not alone.
It took me a lot of courage to even talk about it. It took me like maybe 3 months later to be even able to share with anybody. Sometimes the challenge that we face as caregivers is, are we fair to all the kids or are we focusing on one? So that is a constant struggle.
As a daughter who grew up in a home where my sibling had a mental illness and I had to watch my parents struggle with it, I want you to know that, you're not a bad parent. The only thing that you showed your other children is how much you love and your capacity to love.
His episodes were very Fitz-like. He would be choking and we would be trying to talk him into breathing and having a sip of water just to break
A lot of physical trauma.
Yeah, and that can go on for hours, I think nobody actually knows the difficulty, the fatigue, the exhaustion, the mental exhaustion, the emotional exhaustion that we go through.
I mean, caregiver burnout is real because I myself have been diagnosed with depression. So I'm having to learn to take care of myself too. It feels like there is no end. And as much as a lot of our lives have been affected by my sister's illness, we still love her. I want her to know that we've not given up on her. It's very hard because there are so many days where I really, really want to just tap out.
In the beginning part, many attempts that, I want to kill myself because I cannot cope. Most of the time it's violent and he starts scolding me or he starts screaming and shouting. But at times it tears off. And he thanks me. Thank you for taking care of me for all these years. and he hold my hand very tightly. And that also inspired me that I should move on and continue to take care of him.
I remember when I first started attending my C2C classes in 2016, it was a huge game changer because for the first time, I was in a room with other people who were going through what I felt so long that my family was going through alone and that nobody else understood.
I was full of self-pity, you know. I kept asking why, you know, why this, why me, and why my family, you know, why is she going through all this? But after going through C2C, you start removing why. You want to just go and focus on your daughter with love and support her through the recovery process.
The doctor says be prepared that your son will be like this for life. It's going to be a long-term condition, highly unlikely that he will like really become highly functional. So when you sit imagining losing your daughter at 17, my son is in front of me, but I felt that, you know, like, have I lost my son? I think the 12 weeks of KEL was a journey for me to actually become self-aware, self-accepting of my son, his condition. What we can do as parents was to be there for him.
If one day my father passed on, I will continue as a caregiver to help other caregivers. I think it's my mission. I see enough about how caregivers to suffer, you know, mentally, physically, abuse, and I want to do that. I promise myself that is my aim because I really want to help other caregivers.
I wasn't going to let this take over my life anymore. I wanted to regain control of the situation, and attending the C2C course gave me that. It was also the solidarity, which was the strongest, most powerful thing that I walked away with. The journey never ends, but KEL has allowed us to find each other